This year, our school campuses will look a little different as we return to face-to-face instruction. Our teams have been hard at work creating a safe and healthy learning environment for our students and staff, and we wanted to take a moment to show you what you can expect when you return to school. But before you even arrive at school, there are a few things you need to make a part of your morning routine. Each day, our staff completes a self-screening health questionnaire to make sure they can come to work. Students and families should also self-screen, although a daily form is not needed. Since we will not be taking student temperatures at school, all parents should take a daily temperature at home and monitor for symptoms of coronavirus. Here's what you should be looking for: fever 100.4 degrees or greater, chills, sore throat, headache, cough, muscle or body aches, diarrhea, extreme fatigue, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, new loss of taste or smell, nausea or vomiting, congestion or runny nose. If you have any of these symptoms, please stay home and call your family doctor. If a student develops any of these symptoms at school, parents and/or emergency contacts will be notified and must be prepared to take their child home immediately. One of the first things you'll notice when you arrive back on campus is signage everywhere to help remind us to all do our part to keep our schools safe and healthy. In accordance with the My Safe Schools roadmap, we will be limiting visitors to school facilities. Only essential personnel will be permitted to enter the building this year, unless there is a pre-approved reason for their visit. If you need to visit a school, it helps to call ahead to make sure we're expecting you. When you arrive and are buzzed in, you'll notice a visitor self-screening station located in the building vestibule. All visitors must complete a digital self-screening questionnaire when they enter the self-screening area. Simply scan the QR code with your smartphone, answer the questions, and take your temperature. If your temperature is under 100.4 degrees, you're good to go. Visitors who are permitted entry must wear a mask and remain in a designated area pertaining to the reason for their visit. If you just need to drop off an item for a student, please let the office staff know the reason for your visit. You will be permitted to enter the vestibule for a moment to drop off the items and are not required to complete the visitor screening. Each school will have a drop-off space for student items. Make sure your students' items are properly packaged and labeled. In order to avoid forgotten items, make sure your student has everything they need for the day in their backpack each morning. Lockers will be available for elementary students only.
This year, every student in the district will be receiving a district-owned technology device. If you have already received one, make sure to bring it with you to school every day and make sure that it is fully charged. If you have not already received one, don't worry, there will be one at school waiting for you when you get there. When we go back to school, every student in our district will be wearing a mask at all times on campus, except when eating lunch. Feel free to wear any mask that you'd like to show your personality, as long as it's school appropriate. If you forget your mask at home, then we will have one for you at school. Now I'm going to show you how to properly wear a mask. Thanks to Monk Orthodontics for providing these breakaway lanyards for every elementary school student in the district to hold their masks when they're not wearing them. So to start, make sure your mask fits snugly over your face and covers your nose and mouth. At the end of the day, disposable masks can be thrown away and reusable ones should be washed.
If you're concerned about wearing a mask all day, don't worry. We will have mask breaks when you can enjoy the fresh air from a safe social distance. You can also practice wearing your mask for periods of time now in order to get ready for school. Before students arrive each day and in between classes when a new group of students is entering the classroom, our staff will clean all surfaces and touch points with an EPA-approved disinfectant. Frequently touched surfaces, including light switches, doors, benches, and restrooms, will be sanitized with cleaning agents at least every 4 hours. Custodians will make increased rounds throughout the day. Our building's HVAC systems are regularly monitored and filters are changed at minimum quarterly. ventilation and filtration levels in all buildings exceed state-recommended guidelines. In classrooms, furniture has been spaced to allow for increased room between desks and tables. Your teacher may have a clear plexiglass tabletop barrier for one-on-one work. Elementary toys and manipulatives that cannot be easily disinfected have been removed. Students will be given frequent breaks to wash their hands. Using the directions by the sink, use soap and water to wash your hands for 20 seconds. You can sing a song in your head if you'd like to. Lather your hands by rubbing them together with the soap. Don't forget to get the backs of your hands in between your fingers and under your nails. When you're done, dry your hands with paper towel and dispose of it in the trash can. You're all done. In areas where you can't wash your hands, use hand sanitizer instead. You can bring your own or use one of the school's hand sanitizing stations. When using hand sanitizer, apply the product to the palm of one hand and rub it all over the surfaces of your hands until your hands are dry.
For sanitary purposes, all of the water fountains at school are turned off, but you can still refill your own water bottle at the water filling stations. Don't forget to bring your own water bottle to school every single day.
Should a student become ill with COVID symptoms while they are at school, each building has an isolation room where they can go while they wait to be picked up by a parent or emergency contact. While each room will look different from building to building, all of our isolation rooms are equipped with personal protective equipment and a HEPA air purifier for effective air circulation to reduce airborne particles. When the student arrives in the isolation room, they will be given a surgical mask to wear. Office staff will contact the student's parent to arrange for the child to be picked up. If a parent cannot be reached within 5 minutes, the student's emergency contacts will be notified. Please make sure emergency contacts are current in your Parent View account. A designated staff member will wait for the child until the parent or guardian arrives. When the student leaves, the isolation room will be cleaned and disinfected with an EPA-approved disinfectant product. Areas contacted by a confirmed COVID-positive individual will be closed and deep cleaned and sanitized by custodial staff according to CDC guidelines, using a Clorox Total 360 electrostatic sprayer. In order to keep our community safe and healthy on our school buses, students and bus drivers will wear masks on the bus at all times. Before entering the bus, stop and use hand sanitizer. We will have assigned seating on all of our buses to space students as far apart as possible, and your bus driver will tell you where to sit. Please be advised that this process could cause our bus routes to run a little slower than usual, especially in the first weeks of school. Because we want to avoid mixing and overcrowding as much as possible, we will not be able to accommodate bus changes or allow for students to ride a bus other than their own. We could also use your help. Families who are able to provide their own transportation this year will help keep our numbers low on school buses. All school buses are cleaned and disinfected with an EPA-approved disinfectant product. Seats and touch points will be sprayed and wiped between bus runs to ensure our students and staff can hit the road in a safe and healthy environment. We know we haven't answered all of your questions, but we hope this gives you a good idea about what to expect on our school campuses this fall. You may be wondering about things like arrival and dismissal, lunch, recess, picture day, new student orientation, and more. Don't worry, your principal will be sharing building-specific information with you prior to your arrival back at school, and we will make sure you have everything you need to keep rolling into the 2020-2021 school year without a hitch. Make sure you're following our social media and visiting our website often for updates. And if you have any questions, please email us at fall2020@clarkston.k12.mi.us, and we will be sure to point you in the right direction. We wish all of our students, staff, and families a safe and healthy return to school.